One of the more outrageous arguments that we're hearing today by Israel and its allies is that somehow the responsibility for the people who are in Gaza right now is placed on other countries, countries that should be willing to accept and take the Palestinians out of Gaza as asylum seekers or refugees or whatever the case may be. So the responsibility is not on Israel, who's committing genocide and is attempting a massive campaign of ethnic cleansing in Gaza, but on other countries that are supposed to take them. And we hear the argument of why don't they take the Palestinians to their countries. To understand this, it's important to see how from the very, very beginning, Israel has managed to distance itself from responsibility for the entire refugee issue. And that's the context to what we're seeing today. Now, Israel has, from the very beginning, said that the Palestinians were never forced to leave, that somehow they left because leaders from other Arab countries called on them to leave so that Arab armies could enter Palestine, force the Jews out, and then the Palestinians would return. And of course, the Palestinians listened, and too bad, now they can't come back. Well, never mind. Of course, this is a total nonsense. But even if it was true, number one, it doesn't explain why Zionist terror groups were forcibly displacing Palestinians starting as early as 1947. And even if it was true, why should they not be permitted to return? So this is one of these myths that, nobody wants to destroy a good myth with the truth and with the facts. And so nobody ever gets to that part of the conversation. So this was in the beginning. Later on, Israel started claiming that the refugee issue is not its responsibility. It's the responsibility of the countries that are hosting the refugees. So after 1948, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and countries that neighbor Palestine became homes to huge refugee populations, and refugee camps were built everywhere. So now Israel was saying it has no responsibility for the refugees. It's the countries that are hosting them. They're really forced to host them and thought they were going to host them for, temporarily. It's their responsibility to assimilate and integrate the Palestinians into their societies, into their countries, not Israel's responsibility to allow the people to return to their homes and their land and their country. Once again, shifting the responsibility to others. Now, Israel occupies the Gaza Strip, and so that presents a problem. So leaving the Gaza Strip as it is doesn't work. Doing the right thing, which is to allow the refugees to return to their homes and their land and be paid reparations, that won't work because Israel is a genocidal, racist state. So Israel has been murdering people in Gaza. In fact, long before it even occupied Gaza. The massacres in Gaza began as soon as the Gaza Strip was established in the 1950s. Israeli forces go into the Gaza Strip, massacre Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and blame the Palestinians for it, saying that they somehow pose an existential threat to the state of Israel. And this has been going on for decades, since the 1950s. Of course, it's been upped and upped and upped, and the violence has been growing gradually until what we've seen now is this genocide, this slaughtery that is unbelievable. Now, Israel has also been working very hard to undermine the rights of the refugees, period. The rights of the refugees to aid and the rights of the refugees to return, of course. And so UNRWA has been one of the targets because as long as UNRWA is there, someone's taking care of the refugees. And Israel doesn't want that. So they've been undermining UNRWA for a very long time during the Trump administration and now during the Biden administration. The UNRWA budget, which was already pathetically insufficient for the task that they were mandated to take care of, to accomplish, UNRWA is unable to accomplish its task with all the budget slashes. Now, after or during this genocide in Gaza, as the need has grown tremendously, budgets have been slashed some more because Israel accused a few UNRWA employees, made all the accusations against them. And so, of course, now the entire organization has been punished, and really Palestinian refugees have been punished, which is what Israel wanted to begin with. The entire genocide in Gaza, this is genocide that's been going on for months now, is being blamed on the Palestinians, and the world, the media, politicians are just repeating this nonsense about the blame for this being on the Palestinians somehow. On top of that, we're hearing that somehow it's the responsibility of other countries to take the Palestinians and save them, not the responsibility of the perpetrator of this racist genocide to stop attacking and killing and destroying. It's important to, put all this in context, because what happens is the other side is very good at throwing slogans. Why aren't the other countries accepting Palestinians? Why should the Palestinians be forced to leave? That is really the question. But to counter the slogans, we need context, and we need to place things in context. So while they're good at slogans that are based on myths, we have the truth, which requires a sit down and a 5-minute conversation. which is what this is about. There's nothing new going on now. This is part of a very successful Israeli strategy to undermine the Palestinian refugees, to kill as many of them as possible, and to place the responsibility for the refugees on other countries, on other people in the region. And it's our job to tell the truth, and it's our job to make sure that we protect the Palestinians, protect their rights, and protect their lives. Thank you.